I wanted to talk about something that is a little bit, well, it could be emotional. It is a heartfelt, topic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that a lot of us have dealt with or will deal with, right? But I want to talk about losing a family pet.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be sad. So
Yeah.
if you have gone through this recently, I don't know, maybe you don't want to hear this, but that's what we're going to talk about. So pause or grab tissues.
Fast forward
Yeah.
or
Um, so we had to put down our golden retriever
mm-hmm.
um, maybe a month ago now because we waited. You and I talked about this like when it happened, and we've put it
Yeah.
off, and now here we are. But I thought that it was important to talk about because A, it's something that so many people deal with, but also because of
Mm-hmm.
how you deal with it with the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally.
I have always been an animal lover, obsessed. I think I've had every like possible animal as a pet, except for a horse, which I still really want a horse as a pet. But it's it's something that has always been just big in my heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that is into animals and loves animals knows that losing an animal is like it's a real grief. It's not just
Yeah.
and having to make the decision to put one down is a whole nother thing, which I don't even know if we get into that, but that is like questioning on the timing and when and the guilt and what's right or not right. And who knows everybody's opinion on that. But I think that with
Yeah.
the kids, what I wanted to talk about, I guess, is how we talk to them about it or how you
Mm-hmm.
get through it with them with age appropriateness. And I mean, you went through this a couple of years ago also, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Bennett was like a lot littler.
Yeah. Well, and he still talks about it. So it's, obviously with us being of faith too, like we have always tried to be positive of like, okay, and that situation was different where, your dog was more old and it was age. Ours was more of like he bit Bennett in the face
Oh,
and it wasn't
right.
great. But you've got those caveats, but also still of what you're talking about timing. Okay, cool. You're basically like, and this is going to sound pretty vulgar, but you're picking a death
Yeah.
date. And we have an older dog now that we're kind of getting where your situation is of like, okay, when,
Mm-hmm.
what do we do? Do we write it out a little bit longer?
Right.
So it's very heavy. And then having the kids understand, anyway, long story of that, of like, we just tried to have it be
Mm-hmm.
positive. Right. And so like, oh, so like Gunner, the one that we put down a couple of years ago, we were like, oh, well, Gunner's with Jesus now, protecting heaven. So that was like a thing that
Yeah, that
we,
was a great idea.
and so he always, but then grandma was there. So, oh, he's with grandma, protecting grandma also, like now he's at an age where you're going to deal with different stuff because, with Savannah than
Mhm.
him because he was so little, right? But then, like, and we haven't talked about this yet, but like, so we witnessed a fatal car accident probably a week ago, a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago. So we witnessed it. So we were the witnesses. So we pulled over. So luckily the kids didn't see anything. But after, like we were like, oh, he went to heaven and he goes, oh, he's with Gunner protecting heaven. And we were like, well, sure, buddy. We don't really know the guy. We don't know if he was a good guy, a bad guy, like, but like,
But
so
that
that
was,
has stuck
yeah,
with him.
yeah. Well, and what a
And
sweet
so
like thought for him to think.
such a sweet thought. Um, But it's hard to figure out. And there's no guidebook for this. There's no guidebook that was telling us how to deal with it with Gunner. There's
Right.
no guidebook of your friggin' 5.5-year-old asking questions when you're pulled over on the side of the road and, there's
Yeah.
ambulances and like there's no guidebook for
Right.
any of this.
Right.
So some of it's on the fly.
Well, so when we were so with ours with Remy, it was actually out of
Mhm.
nowhere. Like she was not
Mm.
that old for I mean, she wasn't young, but she was
Right.
almost 8, but she got really really sick. She had a massive massive tumor that like literally out of
Mm.
nowhere. And
Yeah.
so it was explaining that, right, that she was sick. And what I did was Google, because you know me, I like the Google.
Mhm.
Um, and the common theme with kids and having to put an animal down was talking about that it's not going to sleep because then they think it's going to wake up. So using the
Mm.
term or not using the term sleep, but saying,
Mm.
if you believe in heaven, then, going to heaven or their body stopped working or so that it wasn't that they were just going to sleep and going to wake up again, right? Because they're not.
Right.
We actually, I Googled a lot about letting the kids be there or not because they're so
Mm.
young. And I just didn't know, like, what's appropriate. Like, do you let them? Do you not let them? Because we did it in our house. So we had somebody come here. We did it in the living room, which, by the
Mhm.
way, like 1000%, I would do that again and not go somewhere we put
Totally. That's how we. Yeah.
my old cat and dog that I had for literally like 20 years. I had my cat for like 21 years and my dog for 16 years. Put them both down at a vet's office, and that was awful because you
Yeah.
leave, you have to pay, you're crying, everybody's looking at you, they know what just happened. Like you're literally walking out of this, then I had to drive home for one of them. I was hysterical. It's a mess. So, anyways, I digress. Do it at your house if you can. So we did it here, and I asked Savannah like if she wanted to be there, because
Mhm.
she's 9, and she actually chose not to. She didn't want to. So she
Mm.
said her goodbyes and then she went upstairs. Um,
Mm.
Now that it happened, I'm very, very glad. And I think it was a really good idea because, their eyes roll back. They're like Remy's tongue was hanging out. It wasn't like the prettiest sight to see. She also threw
Mm.
up after she got like the first shot that they like put, like put them to sleep basically, but they're still alive. They like they sedate them. And she threw up, so
Yeah.
that was not it. So I know this is kind of gross, but like I'm glad that she went upstairs. But
Yeah.
then afterwards, we're all crying. It's all just so sad, and they take the dog away. And when I went upstairs, she was like a sobbing, hysterical mess, and that
Yeah.
hurt almost as much as just Remy
Mhm.
dying in the first place. So it is really
Right.
hard when the kids I think get to like her age where they're very aware of the situation. Like Bennett was younger a
Oh,
couple years ago.
totally.
Wilder I mean, he was just like, oh, Remy died. Okay. Like that, not, you know what I mean? Like just,
Well, and I think it depends on their
mhm.
personality because Bennett was smaller, yes, but he asked a lot of questions. He asked a lot
Yeah.
of questions. And so for him, it it still wasn't, I mean, he doesn't talk about, obviously, because he was in the room, right? Like we can't send him outside. We have a pool,
Right.
right? Like we need to watch, like, so our situation was a little bit different. It wasn't as traumatic. Like he
Yeah.
didn't throw up. It just was like, oh, he's laying down. And
Went,
no, I'm a little bit more nervous for Marley because he is older. What could happen? And then Bennett still asking a lot
yeah.
of questions, right? But it is like, and then Bennett also not understanding because he was so younger. So Joe and I were a mess. I was also,
Yeah.
pregnant. And so I had all of those hormones. And so Bennett was then like, okay, mommy, it's going to be okay, and then you're crying because you're like, why is my young child
Yeah.
comforting me? And so, like, there's so many emotions
So
that just
many,
go into
so
it.
many. I think that with the kids, it's just important to, well, first of all, let them know that it's okay to be sad, right? And grief, like,
Totally.
I mean, it's hard and it's hard to deal with, but I think that it's
Hmm.
it's really important for them to know it's okay. And I mean, they
Yeah.
saw me cry a whole bunch when it all happened, for like the week leading up to it, like we knew it was coming. And
Yeah.
we weren't even wanting to like pick the day because you like you said, it's literally like you're like picking you're like, oh, today's the day. Like it's such a weird
Mm-hmm.
feeling. But
It was in the calendar.
yeah.
Like you're kind of like they're coming to your
Yes.
house. Like don't forget.
And then do you
Totally.
say you like the person comes to your house and we're like, oh, nice to meet you? Like thanks for coming?
Oh, that was also weird in itself because they came to our house too.
Yeah.
Um, but it is so I don't know if you've done this, but like so Bennett is a stuffed animal kind of guy, and so he has stuffed animals. So one of Gunner, and then he does have ones already of Marley, and so like that was also kind of
Her.
helpful where he if he missed him, he could go grab that stuffed animal.
I was gonna ask if
Um,
like there's like rituals for after, like we got a little ornament, for the tree.
mhm.
Brian's mom already made a scrapbook of like all pictures with Remy.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
amazing.
know, I literally started crying as soon as I opened it and saw what it was. Um, I like the idea. We had some neighbors actually that had their dog pass away, and they took the ashes and are planting a tree
Hmm.
or like a flower or something in the backyard. And so I thought that that was really sweet because that's something that you could go like a little memorial almost, right? That you can go outside
Yeah,
and, um, you know, it'll always be there with you. So,
yeah. We did the salt paw like kind of ornament, but I mean they're the big dogs, so like the circle's really big. So I've thought about making like a shadow box.
hmm
That's what my dad and stepmom did for their dogs as a shadow box. They have a fireplace that sits on the
okay.
mantle. Um, but then it's again it kind of goes back to personality because like Bennett asks a lot of questions, and sometimes Bennett will be in I don't want to say in a mood, but like if he sees a lot of pictures, sometimes it makes him more sad. And so it's this balance of like, do you have it out? Do you not have it out? What do you talk about it? Like a lot of times he'll be like, oh man, I miss Gunner, and we'll be like, oh my gosh, really, he's such a great dog. Like trying to turn it positive. Like, but that's his
Right.
personality.
So you're right. It does.
And
It
so
totally depends on that.
yeah,
I think that and like for you guys, that's been a couple of years. So I think it's good to reassure them to even still talk or that it's okay to be sad even after weeks or months or, you know what I mean? Like
totally. Because that was holy smokes.
a couple years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah. So, I mean,
It was over 2 years ago,
we
actually.
even, and there's the guilt again. We feel guilty about everything, but we were feeling guilty that like, okay, a couple weeks went by and it was like, oh, like she's just gone. Like, and we just, it's almost like you're guilty if you're not crying and sad still about it, But I was
Yeah.
telling Brian we were driving somewhere and it was like a week later and we were just like, isn't it weird that like, life just continues, right? And this can get deep really quick right here, but like life just continues when anybody dies.
Well, and I've been thinking about that a lot actually too, even with Marley, is because, we had to put Gunner down. This was over 2 years ago. I started a new job. We were redoing our kitchen. So you had this like morning time, especially like when you put, they're coming. So you're morning before, you're morning, but then the next day you kind of have to get up and just keep
hmm
going.
You started that new
Where it's
job
like,
the next day, if I remember correctly.
the next day, like I remember them texting and I'm sitting on the chair crying, going, "Yep, tomorrow's great, can't wait." And me
Yeah.
sobbing,
Yeah.
right? And then, like, okay, so then with Marley too, you're like, okay, we got all this stuff happening. And you're like, I don't know, like, okay, what to
Right.
do? Uh,
Well,
one win because he's slowing down. Like, I'm like, okay, here's my threshold, but is he in pain? Is he not in pain? So then you go, okay, but you're like, even my brain, right, is already in
yeah.
September. And so it's like, let's just say it had to happen, in the next month or so.
Right.
Like, I'm already at the end of the year,
Well,
which
and
sounds so bad.
how was Marley when you put Gunner down? Because for us, like Hanson was actually, I think now he seems a lot better, but he was really depressed for a few weeks.
So
because they're together,
We let
right? Like,
Marley kind of we let Marley kind of say goodbye. We played most of the day before she got
mhm,
here. And then we left Marley outside for it. And then he was looking for
mm.
Gunner.
So we
And
had
so
we got
he did
Hanson
that for a
inside.
few.
We had
Huh?
Hanson inside, so he was like there.
Yeah. So he knew that
Yeah.
something was wrong because like he kept looking for him. But then he's also like he was so much older
Yeah.
than Gunner that like one, he's lasted way longer than I thought because right when they're brothers, sometimes they go
Mhm.
faster, right? Because it's like their loved one, right? Um, but you know, he just kind of slowly started down, like slowing down. But like he also was the older one, so Gunnar would pick
Yeah.
on him. So part of it, like you could kind of tell, like he's like, "Oh, I get the
Yeah.
tennis ball now."
Yeah.
You know, like there are parts of it where maybe some relief, but like he looked around for him for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I don't think you're talking about like when the right time is. It's so hard, and there's not necessarily a right and wrong, right? I mean, I think I probably even waited too long for like my dog before, but this time we knew that it had to happen, and whatever it was, what it was. But it's um, it's hard. All of it's hard, but it's really
Mm-hmm.
hard with pets and with kids, and it's hard with no kids putting down pets, but having the kids was just this like added layer, you know and
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, oh, it was the first dog that we had together as a family, and we had the dog since Savannah was like 10 months old, and so it was just like,
Totally.
I mean, it's a new chapter now without her, but it's just so hard, so
Well, and then you just think about all the memories too of like, you know, like so Gunner we had gotten after Marley. So he was like the first dog that Joseph and I got together because I already had Marley. And so then you like think about, okay, like he came home to this
yeah.
house and he was part of this and, you
Hmm.
know, all of the stuff, bringing Bennett home, all of what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, for Marley, for me, like, I had him longer than Joseph. And so then you're thinking about, like, oh my gosh, I found him in the paper. And this is my first, like, big kid responsibility after high school. Like, you know, like, I mean, I got him in 2011.
Jeez. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, I've had him for 14 years.
Hmm. It's literally like your adult life.
Totally.
Yeah. Before the kids even.
So
Yeah. I
it's a
mean,
lot.
it is a weight regardless. I mean,
Hmm.
grief is anyway. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an end to this except for that it's rough, it's hard. Saying goodbye is hard. Um, Handling the
Hmm.
kids through it all is hard. The aftermath without the pets is all of it is so hard. And it's just
Hmm.
okay to have all the feelings of it, right? To like go through all of it. Waves.
Grieve
Yep.
and
And there's waves of it, right? Like it could be, like I was telling you, I'm like, oh, I think I'm doing okay with it.
yeah,
But then I could see a picture and like totally cry.
totally.
So it's just,
And just to accept it and know that you're not alone
and letting your
and
kids
all
know
of
it's
those
okay
things.
to, and just keep talking about the pets and keep talking about stories and, just taking it as you can and going through it as a family with whatever feels right, really.
Totally. Because there's no book
No, there is
on how to
not
do
a
this.
book. There's just Google and it's wrong all the time.
It's just Google.
All right. Well, thanks for
Alrighty.
getting a little emotional with us today.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Talk soon.